Good morning, guys. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, and I'm here continuing in Luke chapter 9. Now, going a little further down, now in verse 4 to 1, Jesus said, "You faithless and corrupt people, how long must I be with you and put up with you?" Then he said to the man, "Bring your son here." As the boy came forward, the demon knocked him to the ground and threw him into a violent convulsion. But Jesus rebuked the evil spirit and healed the boy. Then he gave him back to his father. Awe gripped the people as they saw this majestic display of God's power. Now, here, as we saw in the last one, this man's son had been terrified and troubled by an evil spirit. And his father ensured that he did all he could to get him to Jesus so that he could be healed. Now, he had gone to the disciples, but they weren't able to help. And then he came to Jesus and he says, "Hey, listen, can you help my son?" Now, Jesus did not send him away. He turned to the disciples and he says, "You corrupt and faithless people." He rebuked them for their lack of faith. He is saying that the reason basically that they couldn't is because they did not have enough faith. He called them faithless. And sometimes you may have a situation that seems so big to others that they don't have the faith enough to believe for you. But because you know that, hey, I've got to get out of this, I cannot keep going on like this, you would have been able to muster up enough faith to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go to God and I'm going to believe God. The people around you may be thinking it's impossible. In their experience, they may not have seen something like this happen before. It might be hard for them to picture God bringing somebody out of that, but let that not deter you. Simply continue, use your faith and go to God and see him come through for you. The Bible says that he rebuked the evil, and then even in front of Jesus, in the presence of God, this thing began to manifest and show off itself. But as we see here, Jesus was not intimidated by it. He rebuked it and then gave the boy back to his son. So your situation may be even, you may say to yourself, okay, let me head to God, and you're in the presence of God and you're still feeling plagued by it, or you're trying to do right, heading down the right way, and it still seems as if it's still there, it's still showing off itself. That's not time to give up. That's time to just continue believing and trusting God and see him rebuke it, get rid of it, and lead you on your way. As he said, he gave him back to his father. Now, I want to remind us that no matter what it is, continue to keep believing. All the while here, the guy's father just stood there. He didn't be like, oh, all right, I realize that this is too much for y'all, or whatever, or Jesus here, it's okay. Even in your presence, this thing manifested. No. He had the courage to continue just trusting in Jesus. Whatever he says, bring him here. He brought him here. He started to carry on. He just stood by and let Jesus work. So sometimes we need to just stand by and let Jesus work. Even though this thing might continue to manifest itself, continue to do all sorts of stuff, just stand by and let Jesus work and allow him to finish what he started. He called him, whatever, he allowed him to finish right up to the end. When he rebuked it, healed the boy, and gave him back to him. And that's what he's able to do with our lives. He's able to rebuke all the evil that's trying to come up against us and hinder us from getting forward to our destiny and doing the things that we really need to get done here on this earth. He is in a position and has the power to rebuke it, silence it, get rid of it, and bring that healing that you need to be on your way and to continue to manifest his power. And it said the people were gripped by awe when they saw this majestic display of God's power. That majestic display of God's power is still available to you and I today. That's one of the main things I want to remind us. It's still available. God's majestic power is still available. That miraculous power is still available. So though it might seem like the people around can't help, and nobody has even seen this or has the faith to see you come out of a situation like this, continue trusting in that majestic power of God to get you through and to help you and to bring the healing and deliverance that you need to move on with this week, to move on with this day, with this year. Just continue to look to him and watch him work on your behalf. And why? Remember, it's simply because he loves you, and I do too. So have a wonderful Wednesday.